TOEFL iBT Home Edition listening practice'larimizni davom ettiramiz va bu yerda track 22 ga eshitishimiz kerak. Demak, track 22 ni boshlab eshitamiz.
Listen to part of a lecture in a business management class.
Okay, let's talk about organization and structure in a company. How are companies typically structured?
Functionally.
And?
By projects.
Right, by function and by projects. 20 years ago, companies were organized in function groups, where people with a certain expertise work together as a unit. The architects in one unit, the finance people in another unit. Well, nowadays, a lot of companies are organized around projects. Like a construction company could be building an office building in one city and an apartment house somewhere else, and each project has its own architects and engineers. Now, the good thing about project organization is that it's easier to change to adapt to the needs of the project. It's a small group, a dedicated team, not the whole company. Now, with that in mind, here's a question for you. Why do we continue to organize ourselves by function, even now, when in fact we admit that projects are the lifeblood of a lot of organizations? Why do some companies maintain a functional organization instead of organizing around projects? Yes?
Because if you don't have that functional structure within your organization, chances are you'd have a harder time meeting the goals of the projects.
Why?
Why?
Listen, let's say we got 4 new cars we want to design. Why do we need a functional organization? Why not just organize the company around the 4 projects? These people make car number 1. These other people make car number 2.
Yeah, but who's going to be responsible for what? You know, the way you tell who's...
Well, we'll appoint a manager. New car number 1 manager. Car number 2 manager. They're completely responsible. Why should we have a single engineering department that has all 4 cars passing through it?
When you design a car, you need the expertise of all the engineers in the company. Each engineer needs to be in touch with the entire engineering department.
Yeah, but I keep asking, why? I want to know why. Yes.
Well, to eliminate redundancy is probably one of the biggest factors in an organization, so that there's standards for uniformity and efficiency in the organization.
Okay, and that's probably the primary reason for functional organization right there, is that we want some engineering consistency. We want the same kind of technology used in all 4 cars. If we disperse those 4 engineers into 4 parts of the organization and they work by themselves, there's a lot less chance that the technology's going to be the same from car to car. So instead, we maintain the functional organization. That means the engineers work together in one part of the building, and their offices are next to each other because we want them to talk to each other. When an engineer works on a project, they bring the expertise of their whole functional group with them. But there's a downside of that, though, isn't there? I mean, organizing a company into functional groups is not all positive. Where's the allegiance of those engineers? It's to their coordinator, right? It's to that chief engineer. But we really want our one engineer, the engineer that's working on car number 1, we want that person's loyalty to be to that project as well as to the head of the engineering group. We really want both, don't we? We want to maintain the functional organization so we can maintain uniformity and technology transfer and expertise. We want the cutting-edge expertise in every group. But at the same time, we also want the engineer to be totally dedicated to the needs of the project. Ideally, we have a hybrid, a combination of both functional and project organization. But there's a problem with this kind of hybrid structure. When you have both functional and project organization, well, what does that violate in terms of basic management principles?
Unity of command.
Unity of command, that's exactly right. So this is a vicious violation of unity of command, isn't it? It says that this engineer working on a project seems to have 2 bosses. We got the engineering boss and we got the project manager boss. But the project manager is responsible for the project and is not the official manager of the engineer who works on the project. And we try to maintain peace in the organizations, and sometimes it's disrupted, and we have conflicts, don't we? The project manager for car 1 wants a car part to fit in a particular way for a specific situation, a specialized case. Well, the engineering director says, no, we got to have standardization. We got to have all the cars done this way. We can't make a special mold for that particular part for that particular car. We're not going to do that. So we got a conflict.
Demak, endi savollarga javob berishni boshlaymiz. Business management haqida o'zi ko'rayotgan. What is the lecture mainly about? Leksiya nima haqida? Technological innovations in the automobile industry. Texnologik innovatsiyalar haqida ma'lumot berilmadi. The organizational structure of companies. To'g'ri, kompaniyalarning organizatsion strukturasi haqida. Functional dedi, project management dedi. Ways to improve efficiency. Improve efficiency, effektivlikni oshirish haqida gap bo'lmadi. Methods of resolving conflicts. Konfliktlarni demak, konflikt haqida gap bo'ldi, lekin konfliktlarni demak yechish, konfliktlarni tugatish haqida gap bo'lmadi, resolve qilish haqida bo'lmadi. Why does the professor talk about a construction company that has work in different cities? Nima uchun construction company, ya'ni quruvchi kompaniyani mention qildi, ya'ni gapirib o'tdi. To give an example of functional organization. Funksional organizatsiyani misoli emas bu. Bu project organizatsiyani misoli. To give an example of organization around project. To'g'ri, organization around project. Proyektlar bo'yicha, demak, guruhlarga bo'linadigan organizatsiyani misolini keltirdi bu yerda. To illustrate problems with functional organization. Funksional organizatsiyani muammolarini ko'rsatmadi bizga. To illustrate the types of conflicts that arise in a companies. Demak, konfliktlarni turlarini ko'rsatish uchun demak bu informatsiyani bizga bermadi. 31. What is an example of violation of the unity of command? Demak, unity of command degani, demak, boshqaruvchini, ya'ni boshliqni bitta bo'lishi. Va bu violation degani buzish, o'sha qonunni buzish, bu prinsipni buzilishini demak misoli sifatida qaysi misolni keltirdi. More than one person supervises the same employee. To'g'ri. Demak, bittadan ko'p odam, bitta odamni, bitta ishchini ikkita bossi bor, ikkita supervisori, nazoratchi bor. A company decides not to standardize its products. Produktlarni standartlashtirishni xohlamasligi emas. Several project managers are responsible. Ko'plab proyekt menejerlar haqida gap ketgani yo'q. An employee doesn't follow a supervisor's employee'ni demak bo'ysunmasligi haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Shuning uchun birinchi variantni olamiz. According to the professor, where might there be a conflict in an organizational structure based on both projects and function? Ham proyekt, ham funksional demak holatda demak yaratilgan strukturada qanaqa muammo, qayerda muammo bo'lishi mumkin deyishyapti. O'sha savolni topamiz. Between architects and financial experts, architekt bilan finance, ya'ni moliyachi o'rtasida emas. Between the need to specialize and need to standardize. Bu bo'lishi kerak. Demak specialize, maxsuslashtirish va standartlashtirish orasidagi muammolar. Between two engineers emas, ikkita engineer emas. Between needs of projects in different cities. Turli xil shaharlardagi proyektlar emas. Shuning uchun ham ikkinchi variantni olamiz. Indicate whether each sentence below describes functional organization or project. Qaysi biri funksional, qaysi biri proyekt organizatsiya. It encourages people with similar expertise to work closely. Bitta ish qiladigan odamlar birga o'tirish kerak bo'ladigan bo'lsa, bu funksional bo'ladi. It helps the company to adapt quickly. Adaptatsiya qiladigan bo'lsa, bu proyekt bo'ladi, project organization bo'ladi. Chunki kichkina kompaniya demak guruhchilar bo'lgan uchun, proyektchilar bo'lgan uchun tezgina o'zgaradi. It helps to achieve uniformity in the projects. Uniformity, ya'ni standartlashtirish funksionalda bo'ladi, chunki hamma birga o'tirib qarorlarni qabul qiladi. Listen again to a part of a lecture by playing track 23. 23-trackni eshitishimiz kerak endi biz birgalikda. Va bu oxirgi savolimiz.
Listen again to part of the lecture. Then answer the question.
Why should we have a single engineering department that has all 4 cars passing through it?
When you design a car, you need the expertise of all the engineers in the company. Each engineer needs to be in touch with the entire engineering department.
Yeah, but I keep asking, why? I want to know why.
Why does the professor say this?
Yeah, but I keep asking why. I want to know why.
Xo'p, nima uchun, nimaga degan savollarni qaytarib berdi. He doesn't understand why the student is talking about engineers. Bu emas, bu tushunib o'tiribdi professor nimaga bu haqida gapirilayotganligini. He wants to know how engineers will communicate with coworkers. Bu haqida ham ma'lumot emas. Coworkerlar bilan qanaqa communicate qilish haqida emas. Student has not provided a complete answer. Bu to'g'ri. Student to'liq javob bera olmadi. Yana ko'proq gap qo'shish kerak bu javob to'liq qaylanishi uchun. He wants to do more research. Hali more research haqida gap bo'lgani yo'q, izlanishlar haqida gap bo'lgani yo'q. Demak, keling endi bu javoblarimizni birgalikda tekshirib olamiz. Yigirma to'qqizdan boshlayotganmiz. ikki. To'g'ri, ikkalasi ham. 31, 32, 2. 1, 2. To'g'ri. Demak, funksional 1, 3 va project 2. To'g'ri. Va oxirgi savolimiz 3. To'g'ri. Demak, keyingi darslarda ham listening bo'yicha praktikalarimizni davom ettiramiz.